Senator from Oklahoma.
I ask unanimous consent that the quorum call in progress be vitiated.
Without objection.
And Madam President, if the senator controlling the majority of time would like to reserve the balance of his time, I'll go ahead and start.
Without objection.
All right. Madam President, I was, as we speak, there is an announcement coming from the White House, it's my understanding, that they're going to cancel the sites, the Eastern European sites that we've been working on for such a long period of time. I think it's appropriate to quote something that I saw many years ago. It was foreseen by President Reagan when he was president. He said, and I'm quoting now, "Since the dawn of the atomic age, we have sought to reduce the risk of war by maintaining a strong deterrent and by seeking genuine arms control. Deterrence, making sure that the adversary who thinks about attacking the United States or our allies or our vital interests concludes that the risks to him outweigh any potential gains. Once he understands that, he won't attack. We maintain peace through our strength. Weakness only invites aggression." I wish that people today would understand those words of Ronald Reagan quite some time ago and how prophetic they were. As we look right now, we see that they're talking about the administration is canceling this program. Madam President, I arranged to be in Afghanistan at the time that Secretary of Defense Gates announced the budget. I believe it was last February, the Obama budget, insofar as defense was concerned. I was very much concerned. I was concerned about what happened to the F-22 initially, when we were going to have the only fifth generation fighter that this country has. We initially were going to have 750 of them, and he terminated the program at 187. I was concerned about the termination of the C-17 program. I was concerned about the termination of the Future Combat System. The Future Combat System is the only ground system that has gone through a major change in probably 50 or 60 years. And so we won't have that improved ground capability for our young men and women who go into harm's way. But also I made the comment that I suspected at that time, when he suspended the radar site in the Czech Republic and the interception capability in Poland, that was easing in to terminate that program. I think we're finding out today that he is terminating that program. On February 3rd of 2009, Iran launched a satellite on the 30th anniversary of the 1979 Islamic Revolution. On July 9th of 2008, Iran tested 9 missiles, including the Shahab-3, which has a range of 1,240 miles. Now, I recognize the threat to Western Europe. This wouldn't quite do it. It's 1,240 miles. I think the range in order to be able to get something to Italy would be about 2,000 miles. On the other hand, we never guess these things right. I remember so well in 1998 during the Clinton administration that they made the statement in response to a question that I asked on the 24th of August, 1998, how long will it be until they have the multiple stage capability in North Korea? And the White House responded, it's going to be between 10 and 15 years. 7 days later, on the 31st of August, 1998, they fired one. I mean, this is how far off we are in our intelligence. We don't know. I don't want to guess this thing too close. Ricky Ellison from the Missile Defense Advocacy Alliance said, and I'm quoting now, "The Islamic Republic of Iran has just proved for the first time that it has the capability to place satellites in space by successfully launching a 3-state liquid fueled rocket that has placed 2 objects in the low Earth orbit. Iran has demonstrated the key technologies of propulsion, staging, and guidance to deliver the weapon of mass destruction globally." Now, I'm hoping that the White House doesn't come out and say, well, that's launching a satellite. Madam President, it's the same technology of launching a nuclear warhead. This is getting very, very serious right now. The U.S. intelligence community has estimated that Iran may have long-range ballistic missiles capable of threatening all of Western Europe and the United States by 2015. Well, you know, this 2015, that sounds reminiscent of of August of 1998 when they said it'd be 10 to 15 years. So delaying this creates all kinds of problems for us. Our credibility in Eastern Europe is something that really bothers me. I was just recently in the Czech Republic, President Václav Klaus. They were cooperative, saying yes. The parliament debated it. They decided we could put a radar site in there, a radar site that would allow us to see something that's coming in. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it. Then next door in Poland, to have an interception capability, they agreed to do that. The parliament didn't want to do it. They're concerned about Russia's response and a lot of opposition that there might be. The thing that I don't understand is why Western Europe isn't lining up with us and saying, well, we've got to have those two sites. They're the ones that are naked now if we don't have that. So I'm very much concerned about that. Major General Vladimir Vorkin, who's the head of the Center for Strategic Nuclear Forces in Moscow, recently said Iran is actively working on a missile development program, adding that Iran is 1 or 2 years away from having a nuclear weapon. Well, this really concerns me, that we have even those individuals that we seem to be catering to, the Russians, in order to leave ourselves without a type of defensive system to protect Western Europe and Eastern United States. It's very troubling to me. On April of '09, North Korea furthered their missile and nuclear development by launching a Taepodong-2 missile in the South China Sea. Now, that has a range of over 2,000, about 2,500 miles. That would reach Rome. That would reach Berlin. And there's got to be a concern that they have this capability. They have demonstrated this capability very clearly. The NATO leaders stated in December of '08, this last Christmas, they said the ballistic missile proliferation poses an increasing threat to allies' forces, territory, and populations. Missile defense forms part of the broader response to counter this threat. We therefore recognize the substantial contribution to the protection of allies from long-range ballistic missiles to be provided by a planned development of the European-based United States missile defense assets. And that's what we're talking about. In Poland, the site in Poland would include up to 10 silo-based long-range interceptors capable of shooting down hostile missiles from Iran in their mid-course. Let's put the chart up here. In mid-course, a lot of people don't realize that this is a very sophisticated thing. Our missile defense system takes into consideration 3 courses. The segment here, the boost phase, we don't have anything there yet. We're supposed to be working on it. I was disturbed that one of the things that was terminated by this administration is that effort. The terminal defense segment is one that we're working on right now. The airborne laser in the boost phase is one of the programs that I believe that the administration is canceling. So the site in Poland would include up to 10 silo-based long-range interceptors. The radar site in the Czech Republic would house a narrow-beam, mid-course tracking radar that is currently used by our missile defense system in the Pacific. Things that we know work. So I'm very concerned about it. I have not heard the statement from the White House, but I have a feeling we're going to hear the same thing that we heard back in 1998, and it's very disturbing. This is something that should be an act of desperation in terms of Western Europe at this time. Now, having said that, there was some good news. That's the bad news. The good news is that we have noticed this morning that the